Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Most Valuable Podcast. I am Mark Williams with my colleague,
Victor Castro.
and we are just two dudes that do real estate full-time for a living, giving you the insight about the industry, what's going on in the economy, the government, what's going on in the housing industry, finance. So if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe to our podcast, streaming live now on all major platforms where you get your podcast. And if you want to see our pretty faces, it's on YouTube as well. Most Valuable Podcast under channel MVP Real Estate. So, Victor, I wanted to talk about something that's been coming up a little bit more frequently. I think it has to do with kind of, what's going on in America, right? Unemployment's high. People are looking to gain a little bit more financial freedom. Usually when times get tough, right? Like when the economy's not doing too great, right? We're kind of in a recession if you think about it. Times are getting tough. It's more expensive to live. Groceries cost an arm and a leg. People really sit down and sometimes they get home and they're like, man, one, my job's not fulfilling. Two, I'm not making enough money. So how do I change the narrative or how do I change the situation? And being in this industry, going on, finishing up year 7, going on year 8, and I know you just had to renew your license, so you're in year 4 plus now.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of people that ask me how to become a real estate agent.
Yep.
And kind of how did I make that transition? And it's top of mind. I just had a long time a friend. I haven't talked to the guy in years since I used to work at the bank, but kind of same career path. He was a branch manager. He's still in finance. He does like private client stuff now. And he actually just reached out to me out of the blue. And he got his license 2 years ago, and he's kind of just been curious on like how that transition was. How I transitioned from doing something full time where I had a 9 to 5, I had a guaranteed paycheck, I had insurance, I had a career path to just stop and jump in, basically feet first into real estate. And I think today would be good to talk about. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking about getting into real estate or becoming a real estate agent, or even if you're trying to think of something, maybe you're going into like life insurance,
Something similar.
Where it's kind of you
Being your own boss.
right? Hopefully this will help and give you some insight on kind of how these industries work too, right? In particular, real estate. So I guess I'll start it off and I'll talk a little bit about, why I got into real estate and how my transition looks. So, like I said, got my college degree in radio and television. So I was an architecture major for like 2 years, graphic design. Then I did radio and television, graduated from SF State. And while I was in college, I got a job at the bank. It was flexible at the time. I was working like 32 hours a week, going to school full time. And then when I graduated, I was just good at what I did. So they promoted me and I kind of just stuck with it. And next thing you know, I turned, what was a job that was paying for my college and my living turned into a career, right? So, fast forward 13 years, climbing the corporate ladder and, just got tired of climbing the corporate ladder. I just leave it at that, one company for a majority of that, couple companies afterwards just wasn't for me, right? So I thought, put 2 and 2 together. I've always been into homes, being an architecture major, kind of having that passion growing up. And I've always been into finance. So 2 and 2, let's do real estate. And I was good at sales and marketing and stuff like that. So jump feet first. And yeah, it was definitely eye-opening. I did my research first. I talked to some people that did a similar transition. I knew what I was getting into. I over-prepared, and I think we mentioned this before, but I over-prepared. They tell you to have like 6 months worth of money. I had like 2 years worth of money. Not 2 years worth of money of like full salary, but 2 years where I could pay my mortgage, right? Pay my car payment, buy some food, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the basics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before it was time to say, hey, I got to do something else if it didn't work out, and the first 6 months was crazy, bro. I didn't do any deals. My good buddy Chris Cruz with the Cruz Group, me and him kind of started at the same time. And, We were each other's like counselor, therapist,
right?
Talking each other off the ledge, telling each other not to go back to the 9 to 5. And I would say if you're thinking about doing something like this, you got to have a support system.
Absolutely.
But you got to be careful on what that support system is.
100%.
Right? Because, and I see it all the time on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And look, if you're listening to this, you're looking at my IG and you're part of one of these teams, this isn't a personal attack. But it drives me crazy when I see these real estate teams make a post and it says, we're hiring. Who are you hiring? Are you really hiring somebody?
I know where this is going, Mark. We've spoken about this before.
You're not hiring anybody. So if you got a real estate license or you're getting your real estate license, every new agent that reaches out to me, and man, we had a team, right? And even before this team, I had another team. And I always tell people, I am not hiring you. You are hiring me as your mentor because I'm going to take some of your money that you earned, right, from your clients that hopefully you sourced, okay? I'm going to take some of that money. And even if it was clients I provided you, you're still doing all the work. So maybe I'm paying you with the lead, but I'm not writing you a paycheck, right?
Or providing benefits.
Or providing a 401k or medical, or you don't get PTO. You can request vacation time. Like, it's not a job. You are not an employee of my company. I have a company. I have an S corporation. I am not hiring you as my admin. You're not getting a check from my payroll, right?
Right.
So they are not hiring you. What they should be saying is we are looking
to take on agents.
We are going to provide you training. We may even provide you leads. But you are not an employee of this team.
Maybe this is a good opportunity to grow our team, and if you fit within the scheme and it works out for both sides, then you'll benefit and we'll benefit.
Yeah, we are looking for new team members.
Yes.
We are not hiring. It drives me crazy, bro. Like it's as someone that's hired, man, I've probably hired over 1,000 people in my career. I interviewed you. You got background checked. We did reference check. We negotiated salary. I gave you an offer letter. You got paid hourly. You got benefits. I hired you. You were an employee of the company which I worked for. You had an employee number. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a real estate agent, you are no one's employee. You are self-employed. You are 100% commission job. Now, some of these companies do hire people to be like admins, and they may have real estate license, and maybe, they're on payroll, but they're on payroll. They actually are on payroll. But you're not going to be on payroll and be a real estate agent, right? If you're on payroll, you're doing something else besides real estate.
Right.
So I just had to vent that, man.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. I just saw one yesterday. We're hiring. No, you're not. You're just looking to expand your team. And you're probably, and to kind of put it out in the open, there's no wrong way to make money in this business. And I'm not trashing teams. Like, let me make that clear. They make money. You can make money. I know people that make more money than me working on a team. Like, there's several different routes to be successful in this industry. All I am saying is I just want to kind of be a little bit more clear, because I want that young agent that's a little bit wet behind the ears, that doesn't really understand how corporate works, or maybe this is their first, maybe they're 18 jumping into real estate.
Right.
All excited. Oh, I got a job interview with XX team.
Yeah.
They're going to hire me. Oh, the interview went great. I feel they're going to say yes to hire me. Hate to burst your bubble. They're saying yes to everybody that that wants to be on that team.
No matter if you have any experience or not.
No.
They're going to take you onto their team.
Because the way those companies make money, the more team members they have, the more it's like baseball.
Yeah.
Right? The number of at-bats. You have 200 people on your team. If everyone does one transaction, then your team does 200 transactions. So you, as the team lead or the person running that company, is going to take a cut from 200 deals.
And then some of those leaders will take those transactions and say, "Oh, I did 200 transactions per year."
Oh,
That's another story.
Why
But
don't you get into that a little
Jesus.
bit, man? Hey, this is what podcasts are for.
Yeah.
Podcasts are for to air out dirty laundry. And hey, I always say, I listen to podcasts all the time, right? And we fit into some of these categories. So we're not sitting here, and I just want our audience to know, like, me and Victor are super humble. We don't think we're better than other people
Absolutely
or anything
not.
like that. I will tell you this. We say we put in just as much work as anybody out there.
100%.
So we're not over here like, we grind every day. We got families, our wives work, we got kids, like, we grind. Like, we take this serious and we push ourselves. We know that there's more, we can do more.
We can do better.
We can do
always.
better always, right? So we compare ourselves to people that do better, and we pick their brains and we try to figure out what works for us, what works for them. Maybe it doesn't work for us, right? So we're not here on this podcast to bash people. We are here to really just give insight of how this industry works, and education and knowledge is power. So whether it sounds like it's a good fit for you, or we're opening your eyes because you thought it worked a different way. Hey, then
we accomplished.
Our message was heard.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we're trying to do here. But why don't you get into that too, about kind of, since we're on the topic of how teams work.
Yeah.
And like I said, they are not bad. There are some amazing teams out there that people that are part of have amazing careers.
Yeah. They have all the resources in the world.
We just want to air it out that how it actually works.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm just going to say how it is, just from experience. And I'm like my partner said, we're not here to bash anyone, but experience trumps everything else.
Yes.
Like, we've been through it all. I've been through it all in my 4 years of my career. I had a little bit different pathway than Mark. My transition into real estate, although a little bit similar, I already had a following on social media compared to you, Mark.
Yeah.
I've been doing music since I was 15 years old, and I know people all over the Bay Area, Central Valley, just from performing every single weekend. So those people follow me on social media and they see what I do. And so my transition into real estate was almost, I'm not going to say seamless, but it was a lot easier than a lot of people that don't have that following on social media.
I'd agree. You came out the dugout swinging, bro. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So like within my first 2 months, I already had a deal in the works, and I closed it. And after that, it was just one after another. And, I'm not going to say I'm not thankful and grateful for the opportunity that the person that got me into real estate did for me, because he did give me the opportunity ultimately.
Yeah.
Right. So that I will always be grateful for him. But the thing is, he got me into the real estate business, not to benefit me. He got me into the real estate business to benefit himself.
Yeah.
And I know like on social media recently, I've said a few things on my story and stuff like that. Just, long story short, this individual was looking to fill his pockets with how many deals I was doing, because obviously I'm paying a split to him from all my transactions. And so if you're someone out there looking to get into the industry, you want to make sure, that you interview this individual and that you really understand what their true objective is with having a team, and what plan does he have for you to be successful.
Yeah. And that's something too, that's okay. If their goal as the team leader, right, as a person that runs a team, is to get you more deals, that's why you're signing up for the team.
100%.
Right? You're signing up for the team because they're going to help you. Him or her are going to help you maybe get some leads. Maybe they're going to throw you some bones. Maybe they pay for Zillow. Maybe they have a system where they just have an influx of people in their database that they can't work. And there's an understanding that, hey, like, I can help you accelerate, because knowing people, right? You're an outlier. Most people don't do deals for a while, right?
Yeah.
You're an outlier, or they may have like one deal. The typical life of an agent is you get your license, you join a team, and you're all excited, and then a family member wants to buy or sell a home, and then that person's like, the person your team member is great, I'm gonna mentor you, blah blah blah. They help you do the one deal, they take 60% of your money, and then they disappear from helping you, and then you're sitting there for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, not knowing what to do. That's how this industry works,
Yep.
typically,
Typically.
right? That's how it works. I'm just cold, hard facts. That's how it works. You were turned and burned. You did your 1 or 2 family deals. Now they don't need you anymore. And they're not going to give you their own personal deals because, or if they do, they're going to cherry pick and they're going to give you, you're going to be out there in Stockton, right? Doing a $300,000 home while they're over here in Brentwood doing a $1.5 million home, right? Client.
Right.
They're going to cherry pick. And then on top of that, they're going to take money from you. That's okay. That's what you signed up for. What we're saying is, what Victor's saying is, you need to ask these questions so you're aware of what you're getting into.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What is the process? What is the system that he has in place to make you successful? Not him or her successful. That's the biggest thing that I think throughout this process of me becoming an agent, I missed out on. I kind of gave him all my trust,
Yeah.
I'm just that type of person. Like if I mesh well with you and I get a good vibe from you, I open up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But, that's, it is what it is. But going back to the story, man, like every single transaction that I was doing came from me.
Yeah.
Me putting out content on social media, me calling people and saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I'd love to help you. Putting in the grind, putting in the work to
Not only were you doing the work, but you were financially running your ads.
Yes,
all this
correct.
stuff was coming out of your pocket.
My pocket.
And I don't think, and yes, right, we were building, because I was part of this team for a little bit too.
Yes.
We were building that person's brand, thinking that brand was part of our brand too.
That it was going to grow into something so big that we felt actually, good about, like,
Yeah, building the
supporting,
brand.
building
Yeah,
it together.
The goal, we all had like a vision and goal, right? But,
Well,
overnight that vision changed. So yeah, it's definitely, you got to interview. So you're the one hiring, okay? Let me repeat that. If you're a new real estate agent and thinking about getting into real estate, or you're doing insurance, life insurance, whatever, this is what you want to do. And you want to join a team because you find being part of a team, you want to maybe get some insight from some people that have knowledge already in the industry. You're more of a learner by doing, like you like picking people's brains, right? Hey, maybe getting some lead source. You're coming from a totally different industry. Maybe you don't have a big sales background or a cold calling or something background. So, maybe getting some deals, I don't want to say handed to you, but maybe getting some clients handed to you,
getting your feet wet,
you find beneficial. Just know that you are interviewing that person. You are hiring them to teach you. They are not hiring you.
100%.
Okay. That being said, the other type of teams there are.
Yeah.
The team we had, MVP Real Estate, used to be more than just me and Victor.
Yep.
Right? And before MVP Real Estate, I had the W Group that was just more than Mark.
Yep.
And we run our team. We had an idea. Me and Victor had an idea. We wanted to run a team more of a collaboration. It was more, I would say it was less of a team and more of
putting our minds together. To grow.
Like more of like a mastermind, right? But there always has to be someone in charge. Otherwise, you just have chaos.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like just like the government, right? Or elections coming up. We got to have someone in charge. Otherwise, we're going to have chaos, right? So me and Victor being the more tenured people, having the more experience in the field of real estate, and then having a lot of experience in sales, customer service, stuff like that.
And I have to add something to that. In real estate, we've said this before, transactions equal experience.
Experience.
Right? So the more transactions really you have under your belt, the more experience you really have.
Could you go through every situation?
Exactly.
And Victor, let me tell you this, guys. You guys will laugh about this. Victor Castro had some of the craziest transactions.
Yes.
When I first met Victor, he started. I would say every transaction was like a crazy situation. So
Yep.
if you're out there and you got this crazy transaction and you don't know how to handle it, shoot Victor a DM.
100%.
He's probably been through it, man. This guy's been through everything. And me as well. But, for him in his I swear, that first 12 to 36 months, bro, you went 12 to 24 months, you went through every type of transaction. Hey, but it made you a stronger agent.
100%.
Right? And
yes.
now you're able to kind of know how to handle those situations before they even occur.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's another thing that drives me. We'll maybe touch that. When people say I got to put out fires, don't start the fire. Then you got to put it up. Then you don't have to put it out.
If you're that's a good point, Mark. Look, if you are so organized and you have your process dialed in, those fires don't start.
You shouldn't have fires.
You shouldn't have.
Maybe they start smoldering a little bit.
Yes.
But you already have the action plan to knock them out.
Put it out. Exactly.
All right. I digress. So the type of team we had, more of like a mastermind.
Yeah.
Collaboration. Hey, we had some new agents, brand new agents. We had some, agents that had a little bit of experience, right? And it's like, look, we're not going to give you leads. I don't have enough leads to hand people. We're trying to work on that.
Yeah.
We understand that if we want to grow this team, or not even grow the team, but we want to grow our business, we need to, the name of the game is, leads. You got to have at-bats, We have a good percentage of at-bats, right? Meaning like all of the clients that are referred to us, the clients that we meet on social media. Like, if you're serious about buying a home, me and Victor will get you into a home.
We have a very successul rate with closing deals.
Yeah.
Turning them into closed deals.
I would say we have a pretty tried and true process. Being buyers ourselves and like having the, maybe a little bit later in life and knowing all this stuff and knowing the ins and outs about stuff. And like you said, doing a lot of transactions. I mean, I would say, man, if I had to guess, bro, between the two of us, we're probably close to like 150 plus transactions.
Yeah.
I mean, so we've done a lot of deals. Like, it doesn't seem like it, but when you add it up, bro, I added up once. I was like, dang, we're pretty successful, like, at what we've done, right?
Absolutely.
And something to be proud of, but it's always room for growth. So our thing was like, hey, we have our systems. Let us show you what we're doing that makes us successful. We can negotiate deals with vendors, bulk rate. Me and Victor would do the negotiation. You see me and Victor post a lot of videos, right? Well, we have a videographer. So maybe we can, if there's, 5 or 6 of us doing this, maybe we can get a better rate for this, right?
Yes.
Hey, we can do seminars together, right? We can split the cost. Hey, we have this office. We can split the cost, right?
Less overhead for you.
Less overhead for you, right? Hey, this worked for us. We know this works. Do this, and then you will get clients. Hey, less time to get going, right? So, and then on top of that, we're only going to take, because we're not providing you as much, we're only going to take a small fee. We're not going to take as much as maybe the team that's handing you a lead, taking 50%, 50, 60% of your money. Maybe we're only taking 25% of your first couple of deals. Hey, if you're a more tenured agent, maybe we're only taking 10%, really for our time, because you're calling me all times of the day to ask me questions.
Right.
More like a mentorship program. Hey, we want you to get successful to the point where you're thinking about, maybe you do your own team. Maybe you go out and do your own thing. Or you still want, you find value in working together at MVP, and you want to stick around. And that's one of the reasons why we're called MVP.
Maybe later you become one of the leaders.
Yeah. It doesn't stand for Mark and Victor Properties. MVP, the origin of MVP is, when we left that team, we felt we were the most valuable players of that team.
Yes, we did.
And when we left our prior team, or kind of got forced out, right? Like, the right move was to leave.
Yeah.
Okay. We know our worth. We knew our value. As a matter of fact, besides the guy running the team, it was me and you.
Absolutely.
Without us, that team wasn't really much.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
just keeping it real.
So
And I hope he sees it.
we felt we were the most valuable players.
100%.
And that's where MVP comes from. And the reason why we didn't want to put our last name and call it the Williams Castro Group or the Castro Williams Group is because if we wanted to expand this team, we wanted people to find value in growing the brand, knowing that the brand was about being a valuable agent. It wasn't a brand with my name on it.
Yeah.
My name's Mark Williams. Like, who makes Mark Williams great is Mark Williams.
Yes.
Like, I'm the one that has to make sure my name has meaning to it, not somebody else. That's how I look
ultimately, your 5-star review is based on that client's success and their experience working with you,
at it. Yes.
not with MVP.
Yes, exactly.
So that's a difference. That's what a lot of people don't understand. And, like, that's another thing that we can talk about, like teams that, the name of the team. Like, is it a message that the leader is sending to their agents? Like, who are you trying to build? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think who does it really good is the Fast team.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I liked MVP, because he does, Kenny is
Yes.
the leader of that, and he's one of those teams that, they recruit and they have a lot and they provide tons of training to not only their own agents to other agents. I mean, I've been to one of his things before, and they have different system. I don't know their complete pay structure, but he does provide like the Zillow leads and some lead generation and coaching. And there's tons of people that do a lot of deals on those teams that have been around for a long time. But I really like his branding. I think he does a great job because it's the Fast team. We all know who runs it.
It's not his name.
Yeah, we all know who runs it. In the industry, we all know who runs it, right? But it's a way to kind of build like the people on the team. They got pride in being part of that team. And that's dope.
Yep.
That's kind of like why I always thought that was, from day one of being in this industry, I always was like, that's dope. Like how he has that team name. And the origin from that name, if I'm not mistaken, is he went by the Fast Agent. Like, he had a great marketing when he was an individual agent about, zooming around the Bay Area and getting places fast and stuff like that. So he was known as the Fast Agent. So he became the Fast team.
Right.
And those that are on the team that are watching this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it came about. And I like that, man. I mean, and not to say that there's teams out there that use their names. I'm not going to say those names, right?
Yeah, right.
Doesn't mean it's bad, but like, to your point, like, who are we
empowering? Who are we?
Yeah.
Like, if you're under someone,
like if you're under us.
Yeah. If you're under the Castro team, you're under my team, and my team is the Castro team. Like, would you feel comfortable working under me knowing that the team's name is my last name versus, some third party like name, like just nothing associated with me? How would you feel getting into the industry?
And there's some benefits, like one name, I know he just started his own brokerage, Sirhan.
Yeah.
But this guy is Ryan Sirhan.
But
like,
that guy is on a different level.
He's like number one
in the
agent
world.
in the world. So his name has so much pull and power.
Yes.
Right? That makes sense because he is a figure. He is a celebrity figure.
And not only that, but if you've ever talked to him, he has the processes and the systems to make you successful.
Yeah.
Look.
But he's a brand.
He's the brand.
And I get it. Like, the Williams Group, if it was the Williams Group, like, yeah, I'm trying to build my brand, and there's some people that find value in being on that team, and they're okay with that. And we're not saying that's a bad thing to have your name.
Yes.
It's just have a clear understanding. That would be a great question in your interview. Why is your team name your name?
Great question.
Write that down, new agents.
Yep. 100%. If you're interviewing a team to that you're hiring, why would you want to join a team that's named after their last name?
And just to like put things in perspective too, in the realm of real estate law, if it has your surname in it or your full name in it, in your team name, you do not have to register that team with the DRE. So if it's the Williams team, right? Because my last name is Williams, I don't have to apply to the DRE
To register the
to
name.
register my name. Now, MVP Real Estate, we had to apply. So we are actually a legit business entity that under our broker. So if you pull up our broker's license, if you go on the DRE and you type in MVP Real Estate, we actually pop up. MVP Real Estate pops up. It has a DRE number. It's our broker's number. So we are a DBA of Real Brokerage Technology Inc. in California.
In other words, we can use MVP Real Estate on social media and every single marketing piece that we have
without even using our brokerages.
100%.
But we, as you can see, we like to promote the brokerage we work for because we really truly love being a part of this brokerage. But yeah, so if it said the Williams Group, we wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
We would just on all of our marketing, we just need to make it clear that we're not a brokerage and that like we are part of Real Broker. So I get it. It's one reason why some people don't do it. Like it's a quick and easy way. But yeah, I think that would be a great question. But back to the team kind of rerun. That's our team. That was our motto. You know what, guys? It didn't work. It did not work. We are a team of two right now. And that team is me and Victor. And will we eventually expand? Yeah, we have an idea of kind of how we want to approach it. If I look back and think why it didn't work.
We know why.
I would say I don't think the way we were operating worked because the value we added was more. We would need to have agents that had the same mindset as us.
100%.
So I feel the way that team works, if we're just here to mentor and to guide and kind of like
hold your hand.
Yeah, and I don't even say like we weren't really holding hand, but we would push back. We would play devil advocate on ideas. Well, I did, like you may have an idea and me and Victor may have already tried that idea. And we know for a fact it doesn't work because we tried it multiple times. We may push back and say, hey, why you want to do this? What are you going to get from it? Like, how does this help your business? And if you don't have like a thick skin or you maybe never really got constructive criticism in prior careers, someone telling you that, hey, that doesn't work, it's not to make you feel stupid. It's just to like kind of save you time and money and effort. And if people want to be a little bit more independent, then that's the third option in real estate. So we went from teams that like you're part of a big team. They give you lead, they give you coaching, they give you training. They take a little bit more of your percentage. You may be promoting their name or another name, right?
Right.
Not a bad thing. Reiterate, we are not talking crap. We're just giving you insight on how this works.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what us agents talk about all the time. Well, guess what? We're sharing it. Doors open. Then you got team number 2, more of like a mentorship. Kind of how we were. That's how I was on the team I was with Compass. Guy was great. It was me, him, and like 2 other agents. I was really the only other agent that went full time on it. I learned a lot in the year I was with them. I learned a lot. I kind of outgrew learning, right? It was more like, hey, now I'm ready to either partner with you or do my own thing. And I made that decision. And the team was under his team name and he had a little bit of clout and like it helped out. Cool. But it was more like a mentorship thing, right? And that's kind of like what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then now option number 3, go solo.
Individual.
You just do it yourself. Now, I just had this conversation with someone and it's kind of it's a little bit how I started my career. Although I was under a team, I was kind of solo because I wasn't really under a team. Like I was under a brokerage and we had the team, but I didn't have someone I reported to weekly. I wasn't really paying much of a split, right? It was very minimal split. All the leads were all self-sourced. But the team I joined, the reason I joined that team was because they did a lot of listings, so they had a lot of open houses.
Mm-hmm.
But like Real Brokerage, you can join without somebody.
Yep. The only thing that they're going to require is that you list someone as their sponsor, but that doesn't mean that they're your mentor.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Sponsorship is more of a let me show you what this company has to offer.
Right.
I can show you how to get to the train. The company, all these companies offer trainings.
Yeah.
When we were at XP, they had a training session. Real Brokerage has Real Academy, all online, given to you by our president, who's like one of the smartest guys I've ever heard talk.
He beat out, just to let you know, he beat out, what is it, Warren Buffett, right? On a listing?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He beat him
He's
out.
legit.
Just to let you know.
So, like, these companies have, of course, these trainings are all digital.
Right.
Right. We're going to a big seminar next week, so it's in person.
Yeah.
So you can go solo. The thing about going solo, though, it's all on you. Like financials, you see all these nice videos we do online, they're not free. I mean, you can make them for free. You got to buy the equipment. If you're watching this on the IG Live and you see these 2 cameras in front, that's $1,000 each right there.
Lighting.
These mics, the thing we're recording on, the set, this little setup's $35,000, $4,000.
That's how much we
The
invested.
office is $1,000 a month.
Yep.
So we have other costs, right? In the background, you can't see them. We share an office with our videographer. Like, he helps other agents too. He's not ours. Like, we don't own him. One day we will, but we don't. But that's a cost. There's a cost to that stuff, right? So when you go solo, that's all on you. So a great advantage of being part of a team for a new agent is some of these upstart costs are already absorbed by that team. And that's why they're taking a bigger percentage. Okay. So we're not, like I said, it's not a bad thing. It all depends on like where you are financially too. Like, how much reserve do you have? How much do you have to start your business, right? Everyone's got to start somewhere. So, these are all things to factor into. So there's no wrong way to get into real estate. But the things we just talked about, that is the cold, hard facts about the industry.
100%.
But at the end of the day, the one common theme is you don't work for anybody. You work for yourself.
Yep. Yep.
So if you get in this industry thinking that the team you join is going to make you successful, you're going to have a rude awakening.
Yep. Set your expectations correctly before, and you'll never go wrong.
So looking back at young Victor, super excited, getting into real estate. If you could talk to Victor from 4 years ago, now knowing what you know, what advice would you give him? Because there's someone out there that was you that's going to have this advice is going to help.
And it's funny. I talk to people sometimes about, ask me all the time. I have a way of setting up an appointment with them and giving them some insight on how you get into the business. What I tell them is figure out what you like. What is your current situation? Are you part-time? Are you still working at your job? Are you not working at your job? So it's going to depend on all of that, but you got to figure out what you like. What route do you want to take? Maybe do 3 months, like figuring out if the individual way is the right way for you. Maybe, you find out after those 3 months that you like it, and then do another. If you don't like it, then try a team. If you don't like that team, go on it. Look, there's nothing wrong. There's no right way, but you got to figure out what you like. That's what I would say.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's great advice. Like, and I think that I would give the same advice. Like, figure out what you like to do.
We chose social media, but social media is not the only way you can get business.
Well, I didn't choose social media to begin.
Sorry.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, to your point, there's other ways, right?
Yeah.
So when I first started, it was open houses.
Right.
I didn't have really any social media.
Right.
I mean, we could pull up MySpace. My MySpace page my MySpace page back in the day was legit. But I didn't really have Instagram. Being in a management role before with a ton of employees, I kind of want to keep my personal life private, right? I only let people in that I really wanted to let in, right? So I didn't really have social media. You didn't know what Mark was doing, on vacation or whatever, right? I kept it to myself. So when I got in the industry, I didn't have that to leverage. So I was good at talking to people face to face. I come from a generation where not everybody, cell phones, you only use when you had an emergency because they were like $3 a minute, right?
Right.
So open houses was my jam for the first 2 years. And then I realized, okay, now I need to get on social media. I need to build this because this is the wave of the future. Like, this is how people communicate. All ages, all ages. Your grandma and grandpa got their little iPad right now on Facebook, right?
Right.
So like don't assume everyone uses technology, everyone uses social media, whether they have a big following or not, they're on there engaging. And it's a great way to kind of expand. So, but that's something. If I can go back and talk to my prior self, I would have been like incorporate social media from day one.
Yes.
Even I should have been on those open houses, like really promoting it on social media for that agent. Maybe I would have got more buyers, but I probably would have built my platform a little bit bigger and been known more as maybe an expert in that area a little bit quicker,
Right.
right? So
Mhm. One stat before we leave. Right now, currently in California, there's 440,000 agents with the license that hold a license. Just remember, you could be someone that holds a license or you could be someone that's actually proactive, right? That's actually doing business. What agent do you want to be?
yep, let's just end it on that.
Yep.
So with that, guys, thank you again for joining the most valuable podcast. Like I said, we are streaming on all major platforms. So wherever you get your podcast, search us up, subscribe. We launch each episode every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on any podcast stream. And then the video goes live, premieres same time on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe to both. With that, we look forward
To
to winning
winning
with
with
you.
you.